Welcome to the last part of our course in Coordinated Needs Assessments. In summary, an assessment should follow these basic principles. Do not overextend the assessment, especially in the early phases. Make it wide enough to indicate the full situation, but narrow enough to be manageable. Carry out the first assessment as soon as possible after the disaster. However, before you start, identify the specific decisions it must help with and review existing data before deciding whether to collect new data. Disaggregate your data to a level that will enable decision makers to understand the different effects of the disaster on different groups, sectors, and geographical locations. Use standardized data collection techniques and procedures for analyzing data. Standardized procedures should lead to accurate data and sound conclusions. Make sure disaster-affected communities are involved in planning, implementing, and judging the response. To do this, you must set up processes that give communities and individuals a voice in the assessment. Participate in coordinated needs assessments where possible. If there is a coordinated assessment that your organization is able to be part of, and if the focus of that assessment suits your organization's aims and activities, you will benefit from taking part in it. If you do a single agency or single sector assessment, make your findings available to other sectors, national authorities, and representatives of disaster-affected communities. You may need to form and train an assessment team and support them with logistics, transport, communications, and accommodations, and so on. You need your organization to fully support the assessment. Consider how local and national authorities and other groups are responding. Identify capacities and strategies used by the disaster-affected communities and surrounding populations to cope with the disaster. Avoid building unrealistic expectations in disaster-affected communities of what your assessment will lead to. Try to manage the expectations of other stakeholders as well, including local authorities and assessment partners. Continue assessing the needs throughout the emergency. Collect data in increasing detail and refine the assessment and update your finding as the situation changes. And if you remember nothing else, assessment is a process and it starts with preparedness. Secondary data is mandatory to complete primary data. Assessments should inform decision-making, be coordinated, involve joint analysis, and contribute to a shared understanding of the operational picture. I hope you enjoyed this module. Thank you and see you soon.